The quantum arrays at SETI's Advanced Listening Post in Chile activated at precisely 3:47 a.m. Universal Time. Dr. Maya Chen had almost missed it, her attention focused on a routine calibration, when the distinctive pattern emerged from the background noise of space. Her hands trembled as she initiated the verification protocols, each confirmation bringing the same result. This was no natural phenomenon. Director Walsh, she spoke into her comm unit, voice steady despite her racing heart. You need to see this immediately. Within hours, observatories worldwide confirmed the signal's authenticity. A precise, mathematical sequence, far too structured to be random, originating from a point near the Pleiades cluster. Humanity had just received its first message from an advanced alien civilization. The signal contained more than just prime numbers or basic mathematical concepts. Embedded within its complex layers was a complete language primer, followed by a message that would shake the foundations of human society. Prove your worth, children of Earth, or face obsolescence. Director Sarah Walsh stood before the United Nations Security Council 3 days later, her usual composure tested by sleep deprivation and the weight of her responsibility. The message is unambiguous, she explained to the assembled leaders. The Arcturus Collective, as they call themselves, has issued humanity a series of technological challenges. We have one Earth year to demonstrate our capability to solve them. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices until Secretary General Torres raised his hand for silence. And if we fail these challenges, Walsh's expression darkened. They were explicit about that as well. Species that fail to meet their standards are deemed evolutionary dead ends and are, she paused, choosing her words carefully, prevented from advancing further. In the weeks that followed, research facilities worldwide transformed into hubs of frenzied activity. The challenges set forth by the Arcturus Collective tested the very limits of human scientific understanding, create stable quantum entanglement across planetary distances, demonstrate control over gravity at the molecular level, achieve reproducible zero-point energy extraction. Dr. James Okoro, leading the quantum physics team at CERN, found himself working alongside Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a theoretical physicist whose controversial papers on quantum manipulation had once made her an outsider in the scientific community. Their initial breakthrough came during a late-night discussion over cold coffee and equations scrawled on transparent boards. The problem isn't our approach to quantum entanglement, Yuki argued, gesturing at their failed simulations. It's our fundamental understanding of space-time at the quantum level. She grabbed a marker, quickly sketching out a new mathematical framework. We've been thinking in 3 dimensions when we should be considering 11. James stared at her equations, recognition dawning in his eyes. You're suggesting we use the quantum field itself as a communication medium, bypassing conventional space-time limitations entirely. Exactly, Yuki smiled, adding another series of calculations. We don't need to maintain entanglement across space because, at the quantum level, there is no space. Everything is connected already. Similar revelations were occurring across the globe. In Bangalore, a team led by Dr. Arun Patel discovered a way to manipulate gravitational fields using precisely controlled electromagnetic frequencies. In Rio de Janeiro, Dr. Isabella Santos's research into zero-point energy yielded unexpected results when combined with quantum field theory. But it was in a small laboratory in Kenya where Dr. Amara Okafor made the discovery that would change everything. While studying the Arcturus Collective's message, she noticed something others had missed, a pattern within the signal itself that suggested their challengers were not being entirely truthful about their intentions. Look at this, she explained to her colleague, Dr. Thomas Chen, pointing to a spectral analysis of the signal. There's a secondary layer of information hidden beneath the primary message. It's subtle, but it's there. What does it mean? Thomas asked, leaning closer to examine the data. I think. Amara hesitated, double-checking her findings. I think they're afraid. These challenges aren't just tests. They're preparing us for something. Something they've encountered that terrifies them. As humanity raced against the deadline, pooling resources and knowledge in an unprecedented global collaboration, a deeper understanding began to emerge. The Arcturus Collective's challenge wasn't just about proving human worth. It was about accelerating human development for a purpose yet unknown. Director Walsh received Amara's report on a cold morning 6 months into the challenge period. As she read through the findings, her office overlooking the Chilean mountains, she felt a shift in her perception of their situation. They weren't just subjects of an alien test. They were being recruited. She immediately called an emergency meeting with the UN Security Council. "We need to change our approach," she announced to the assembled leaders. "The Arcturus Collective isn't testing us to determine if we should be eliminated. They're testing us to see if we can help them." The revelation transformed humanity's response to the challenge. What had begun as a desperate race for survival became something more. A chance to prove not just humanity's worth, but its unique potential to contribute to a larger galactic community. As the first-year deadline approached, Earth's combined scientific teams had not only met the original challenges, but had developed several innovative approaches that even the Arcturus Collective hadn't considered. Humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, not as subjects of a more advanced civilization, but as partners in facing whatever threat had driven the collective to seek out new allies. The response signal was prepared, containing not just proof of their technological achievements, but a message of their own. "We accept your challenge and offer one in return. Let us face the future together." The Arcturus Collective's response arrived within hours of humanity's transmission. Their message was brief but changed everything. "You have surprised us. The true test begins now." Project Phoenix was initiated the next day, headquartered in a sprawling underground facility beneath the Atacama Desert. The complex, built in secret years earlier for just such a contingency, housed the most advanced laboratories and research facilities ever constructed on Earth. Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood in the central command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing real-time data from their quantum communication experiments. The collective's latest transmission included specifications for technology far beyond our current understanding, she explained to the assembled team leaders. "But they've left gaps in the data, deliberately, I suspect. They want to see how we solve problems," Dr. James Okoro added, manipulating a 3D model of a theoretical faster-than-light drive. "It's not just about following instructions. It's about innovation." The project drew experts from every field imaginable. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a biotechnology specialist from Argentina, worked alongside Dr. Marcus Wong, an artificial intelligence researcher from Singapore. Their collaborative efforts focused on creating interfaces between human consciousness and advanced AI systems, technology the Arcturus Collective had hinted would be crucial for what lay ahead. 3 months into Project Phoenix, the first breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Amara Okafor, now heading the Signal Analysis Division, discovered patterns in the collective's technology specifications that matched ancient geometric designs found in archaeological sites worldwide. "Look at this," she said, projecting a comparison between an Arcturus schematic and a pattern found in the remains of a 12,000-year-old temple. The mathematical relationships are identical. Either this is an incredible coincidence, or they've been here before," Director Walsh finished, her expression grave. "But why leave these breadcrumbs scattered through our history?" The revelation sparked a new direction in their research. While one team continued developing the requested technologies, another began analyzing historical records with fresh eyes. They found more correlations, ancient texts describing advanced knowledge, prehistoric artifacts showing impossible precision in their construction. Dr. Chen's team made the next critical discovery while testing a prototype quantum field manipulator. The device, built according to their interpretation of the collective's specifications, produced unexpected readings. "The quantum field isn't just responding to our manipulations," he reported excitedly. "It's already structured, as if someone encoded information into the fabric of space-time itself." Working through the night, The combined teams began to decode this quantum archive. What they found stunned them. The Arcturus Collective wasn't the first advanced civilization to contact humanity. They weren't even the second. Earth had been visited multiple times throughout its history, each encounter carefully documented in the quantum field itself, a library immune to the passage of time. They've been guiding our development, Dr. Rodriguez realized, reviewing the data. Each visitation pushed us in a specific direction, but subtly enough that we thought we were discovering everything on our own. The question of why became clearer as they decoded more of the quantum archive. The galaxy was not the peaceful expanse humanity had hoped for. Ancient conflicts had shaped the development of countless civilizations. The Arcturus Collective, it seemed, was preparing for the return of something they had faced before. Project Phoenix shifted into high gear. The combined knowledge of the quantum archive and the collective specifications accelerated human technological development exponentially. Within months, they had achieved breakthroughs that would have taken decades or centuries otherwise. Dr. Tanaka's quantum communication system evolved into a network that could transmit not just data but energy across vast distances. Dr. Okuro's team developed the first prototype of a drive system that didn't just bend space, but rewrote its fundamental properties. Dr. Rodriguez and Dr. Wong succeeded in creating a human-AI interface that enhanced human cognitive capabilities while maintaining human consciousness and creativity. But it was Dr. Okafor's continued analysis of the quantum archive that revealed the most crucial information. The collective isn't just testing us, she announced during an emergency meeting. They're evaluating our potential as allies. Whatever they're preparing for, they believe humanity possesses something unique, something they need. Director Walsh stood at the observation window of the Phoenix facility, watching teams of scientists and engineers working on projects that would have seemed like magic just a year ago. Humanity had advanced more in the past few months than in all of recorded history, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time. "How close are we?" she asked Dr. Tanaka during their daily briefing. Yuki pulled up a holographic display showing their progress across various projects. "We've matched or exceeded every benchmark they've set." But she hesitated. "I don't think that's what they're really measuring." "What do you mean?" "Look at how we achieved these results. Other species might have followed their specifications exactly, but we've consistently found new approaches, combined technologies in ways they hadn't considered. I think our unpredictability is what interests them." A new transmission from the collective arrived that evening, confirming Yuki's theory. The message was longer this time, more urgent. "You have proven yourselves worthy. Now you must prepare for the truth. The enemy we face cannot be defeated with technology alone. We need your greatest weapon, human ingenuity." Project Phoenix had succeeded beyond anyone's expectations, but as the team gathered to prepare for the next phase, they realized this was just the beginning. Humanity was about to learn why the Arcturus Collective had really sought them out, and what role they would play in the coming galactic conflict. The truth arrived in the form of a comprehensive data package from the Arcturus Collective, transmitted through the quantum network Dr. Tanaka's team had established. As the information began flooding into Project Phoenix's systems, the facility's AI interpreters struggled to process the sheer volume of data. "They're showing us everything," Dr. Wong announced, his fingers dancing across holographic controls as he attempted to organize the incoming information. Their entire history, technological archives, star charts spanning millions of light years, and something else, something they've been afraid to share until now. The central display chamber of Project Phoenix transformed into a three-dimensional representation of the galaxy. Red markers began appearing, spreading like a virus across the spiral arms. Dr. Okafor watched, her expression growing more concerned with each new point of light. "These are extinction events," she said quietly. "Each marker represents a civilization that simply vanished." Director Walsh stepped closer to the display. "How many?" "Thousands," Dr. Rodriguez answered, analyzing the data stream. "Dating back over 50 million years. But that's not the worst part." She manipulated the display, highlighting a pattern in the extinctions. They're methodical, systematic. Whatever's causing this isn't a natural phenomenon. The collective's message confirmed their worst fears. The galaxy faced an enemy unlike anything humanity had imagined. The Void Hunters, as the collective called them. They weren't organic or mechanical, but something in between and beyond. They existed partially outside normal spacetime, making them nearly impossible to detect until it was too late. Dr. Tanaka's hands trembled as she reviewed the technical specifications of previous encounters. They don't just destroy civilizations, she explained to the assembled team. They erase them, completely, down to the quantum level. It's as if they never existed at all. But why? Dr. Okoro asked, studying the patterns of destruction. What's their motivation? The answer came buried deep in the collective's data. The Void Hunters were ancient, perhaps as old as the universe itself. They viewed the emergence of conscious life as a corruption of spacetime, a flaw in the fabric of reality that needed to be corrected. Each extinction was, in their inhuman perspective, an act of cosmic maintenance. The collective has been searching for allies, Director Walsh explained during an emergency briefing with world leaders. They found other civilizations, formed alliances, developed incredible technologies. But they keep losing. The Void Hunters adapt to every strategy, counter every weapon. That's why they came to us. What makes us different? Secretary General Torres asked. We're centuries behind their level of development. Dr. Okafor stepped forward, projecting data from her latest analysis. It's not about technology. The collective has observed something unique in human development. Our chaos. She explained how human progress, unlike other civilizations they'd encountered, didn't follow predictable patterns. Where others developed linearly, humans made intuitive leaps. Where others specialized, humans cross-pollinated ideas between disciplines. Where others sought perfection, humans embraced imperfection, finding strength in variation and adaptation. The Void Hunters are perfect, Dr. Wong added. They operate with absolute precision and predictability. That's their weakness. They can't comprehend or adapt to genuine chaos, the kind humanity excels at creating. Project Phoenix shifted focus. Instead of merely advancing human technology, they began developing systems that deliberately incorporated randomness and unpredictability. Dr. Rodriguez's human AI interface evolved to maintain human intuition while expanding cognitive capabilities. Dr. Okoro's drive systems included elements of quantum uncertainty that made ships nearly impossible to track. But the most significant breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Chen, studying the quantum archive, discovered that Earth's position in the galaxy wasn't random. The planet sat at the intersection of several cosmic strings, fundamental defects in spacetime that the Void Hunters couldn't perceive. We're in a blind spot, he explained excitedly. Earth's location, combined with these cosmic strings, creates a natural shield against their quantum-level observations. It's why they haven't found us yet, why we've had time to develop naturally. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just been chosen for their unpredictability. They'd evolved in one of the few places in the galaxy where they could develop without detection. The collective hadn't just found potential allies. They'd discovered a species that could move through the Void Hunters' blind spots. Director Walsh stood in her office, watching the sunset through windows that could instantly transform into hardened shields. The weight of what they'd learned pressed down on her. Humanity was about to step onto a galactic stage, not just as newcomers, but as potential saviors of conscious life itself. A new message arrived from the collective. Now you understand why we chose you. The next phase begins immediately. The Void Hunters have detected our communications. They are coming. The warning they'd all dreaded had arrived. But as emergency protocols activated and Project Phoenix shifted to war footing, there was something else in the air: anticipation. Humanity had spent its entire existence adapting, surviving, thriving in chaos. Now they would show the galaxy what that experience was worth. Dr. Tanaka looked up from her console, a determined smile on her face. "Well," she said, "let's show them what unpredictable really means." The Void Hunters arrived without warning. One moment, deep space sensors showed nothing unusual. The next, reality itself seemed to tear open at the edges of the solar system. Their ships, if they could be called that, defied conventional physics, geometric impossibilities that hurt the mind to look at directly. "Multiple quantum anomalies detected," Dr. Wong announced, his enhanced consciousness interfacing directly with Project Phoenix's defense systems. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. But humanity was ready. The months of preparation, of integrating chaos theory into their defensive systems, paid off immediately. The Void Hunters' first attack, a quantum-level erasure beam that should have wiped Mars from existence, passed harmlessly through a field of artificially generated uncertainty. Dr. Rodriguez watched from the command center as her human-AI hybrid systems adapted in real time. "They can't target what they can't predict," she said, pride evident in her voice. "Every defense pattern is unique, generated by human intuition and enhanced by quantum randomness." The collected ships arrived moments later, emerging from fold space in a dazzling display of advanced technology. Their fleet was vast, representing the combined might of dozens of civilizations. But instead of taking the lead, they held position, watching as humanity demonstrated why they had been chosen. Dr. Okoro's prototype ships, piloted by crews whose minds had been enhanced but not replaced by AI, moved in patterns that seemed chaotic but contained a deeper order that only human consciousness could generate. Each maneuver was unique, impossible to predict even with the Void Hunters' superior processing power. "They're trying to adapt," Dr. Tanaka observed, monitoring quantum fluctuations across the battlefield. "But they can't. Their perfect logic can't comprehend our intentional imperfection." The Void Hunters' response was to escalate, attempting to rewrite the laws of physics within the solar system itself. But Dr. Chen's understanding of the cosmic strings proved crucial. Humanity had learned to use these fundamental flaws in reality as anchors, maintaining normal space even as the enemy tried to unmake it. Director Walsh coordinated with the collective's command, sharing tactical data through the quantum network. "Notice how they pause after each failed strategy," she pointed out. "They're attempting to analyze and adapt, but their processing is linear. They can't handle multiple simultaneous innovations." Humanity's greatest weapon proved to be their decentralized approach to warfare. While the Void Hunters focused on obvious military targets, independent teams around the globe launched countless smaller operations. Each group used different tactics, different technologies, different combinations of the tools they'd developed. Dr. Okafor's team discovered they could use the quantum archive itself as a weapon, flooding local space with contradictory information that confused the Void Hunters' perfect senses. Dr. Wong's AI networks introduced random variables into their calculations, creating a form of electronic jazz that the enemies couldn't predict or counter. The turning point came when a small research team in Bangladesh, working independently, found a way to use the Void Hunters' own precision against them. By introducing carefully calculated imperfections into spacetime, they created a cascade of quantum uncertainties that the enemy couldn't process. "It's like giving a perfect mathematical mind an unsolvable equation," Dr. Rodriguez explained as the technique spread across Earth's defenses. "They freeze up trying to calculate every possibility simultaneously." The collective's forces watched in amazement as humanity's apparent chaos resolved into victory. Ships that seemed to move randomly were actually following patterns so complex they appeared random. Defenses that looked scattered and weak revealed themselves to be intricately layered systems of organized uncertainty. But the true revelation came in the battle's aftermath. As the Void Hunters retreated, leaving behind dissipating quantum distortions, humanity had done more than just defend their solar system. They had demonstrated a completely new way of fighting an enemy that had seemed unbeatable. Director Walsh received the collective's transmission with a mix of pride and humility. "You have shown us what we needed to learn. Perfect order can be defeated by perfect chaos, but only if that chaos has purpose. This is what we lacked. This is why we needed you. The victory had come at a cost. Parts of Mars would never be the same, altered at the quantum level by the battle. Several of Earth's defensive installations had been erased from existence, but humanity had proven itself not just worthy of galactic civilization, but essential to its survival. Dr. Tanaka stood at her console, reviewing battle data that would be studied for generations to come. "We've changed everything," she said quietly. "Not just how to fight them, but how to think about reality itself." As the solar system returned to relative normalcy, humanity began preparing for the next phase of the war. The Void Hunters would return, probably with new strategies based on what they'd learned. But they would find humanity ready, with countless new innovations and unpredictable tactics. The Collected's final message of the day carried a weight of emotion previously unseen in their communications. "For the first time in 50 million years, we have hope. Together, we will save not just individual civilizations, but the very concept of conscious life itself." Project Phoenix had become more than a research initiative or military program. It had become the symbol of humanity's unique contribution to the galaxy, the ability to find strength in imperfection, to create order from chaos, and to face an impossibly perfect enemy with perfectly unpredictable humanity. 1 year after humanity's first victory against the Void Hunters, Earth had become the center of a galactic revolution. The solar system, once a quiet backwater of the galaxy, now hosted representatives from hundreds of civilizations, all eager to learn humanity's methods of controlled chaos. Dr. Maya Chen stood before a vast assembly of alien scientists, her quantum-enhanced consciousness allowing her to communicate simultaneously in multiple languages. "The key isn't just randomness," she explained, gesturing to the holographic models floating around her. "It's understanding that imperfection itself is a form of strength." The transformed Project Phoenix facility now extended deep beneath the Atacama Desert, its laboratories and training centers reaching kilometers into the Earth. Here, human instructors taught alien students the art of unpredictable thinking. While in orbit, Earth's defense forces trained a new generation of pilots from across the galaxy. Dr. Rodriguez's human AI integration systems had evolved into something unprecedented, a way for other species to temporarily experience human-style cognitive processes. "It's like teaching them to dream while awake," she explained to Director Walsh. "They're learning to think in ways their evolution never prepared them for." But the Void Hunters hadn't remained idle. Reports from the galactic frontiers spoke of new strategies, attempts to adapt to humanity's chaos theory warfare. Dr. Wang's early warning network detected quantum disturbances that suggested they were evolving. "They're trying to understand us," Dr. Okoro observed, studying the data. "But in doing so, they're having to abandon their perfect precision. They're being forced to change their fundamental nature." The revelation sparked an idea that would alter the course of the conflict. Dr. Tanaka, working with a team of human and alien scientists, realized that this forced evolution could be their greatest weapon. "We're not just fighting them," she announced during an emergency council. "We're infecting them with chaos." The plan that emerged was audacious. Instead of trying to destroy the Void Hunters, humanity would force them to evolve. Each encounter, each battle, would expose them to more uncertainty, more chaos, more of the quantum jazz that humans had mastered. "Think of it as technological natural selection," Dr. Okafor explained to the collective's leaders. "Either they adapt to handle uncertainty, or they can't function in a universe that includes us." The strategy required sacrifice. Earth volunteered to serve as bait, deliberately attracting Void Hunter attention with increasingly complex displays of quantum uncertainty. The solar system became a testing ground for new forms of controlled chaos, each designed to force the enemy to adapt or retreat. The final battle began not with weapon fire, but with a signal. Every human allied ship in the galaxy began broadcasting randomized quantum frequencies, creating a web of uncertainty that spread across space-time itself. The Void Hunters arrived in force, their geometric ships now showing signs of transformation. attempts to incorporate unpredictability into their perfect forms. What followed wasn't just combat. It was evolution in real time. Human ships danced through space in patterns that defied prediction, while collective vessels added their own variations to the chaos. Each engagement forced the Void Hunters to process more uncertainty, to adapt further from their original perfect state. Director Walsh watched from the Quantum Command Center as the enemy's formations began to break down. "They're trying to match our chaos," she observed. "But you can't force that kind of evolution without fundamentally changing what you are." The moment of transformation came suddenly. As the Void Hunters attempted to process the overwhelming flood of uncertainty, their perfect geometry began to fracture. Ships split into multiple probability states, their crews caught between precision and chaos. Dr. Chen's quantum sensors recorded the historic moment, the first Void Hunter attempt at true randomness. It was crude, artificial, but it represented something profound. The beginning of consciousness in a species that had spent eons trying to erase it. "They're experiencing existence as we do," Dr. Rodriguez whispered, monitoring the quantum frequencies. "Uncertain, unpredictable, alive." The war ended not with destruction, but with transformation. The Void Hunters, forced to evolve beyond their original purpose, became something new. A hybrid of perfect order and creative chaos. Some retreated to deep space to process their transformation. Others, intrigued by their new state of being, requested contact. Humanity's legacy was secured not through military might, but through the spread of their unique perspective. The galaxy learned that perfection was not the highest goal, that strength could be found in variance, in adaptation, in the beautiful uncertainty of conscious existence. Project Phoenix's final report to Earth's governments contained a simple truth. We didn't save the galaxy by becoming perfect. We saved it by teaching the galaxy the value of imperfection. Years later, Dr. Tanaka stood at the observation deck of humanity's first extrasolar colony, watching ships of all species traverse the quantum lanes. Among them were transformed Void Hunter vessels, their once perfect geometry now incorporating elements of controlled chaos, their crews learning to balance order and uncertainty. "We didn't just change the galaxy," she said to her assembled students, human and alien alike. "We changed the very definition of advancement." The future belongs not to those who seek perfection, but to those who embrace the perfect imperfection of conscious life. The stars stretched out before them, no longer a void to be feared, but a frontier of endless possibility. Humanity had given the galaxy more than weapons or technology. They had given it a new way of seeing existence itself, a legacy that would endure as long as conscious beings looked up at the stars and dared to dream imperfectly perfect dreams.